I'm Gloria Feldt. I'm co-founder and president of Take the Lead. And you are watching Fem-Nominal TV.
Fem-Nominal attended the Women's Leadership Summit in New York, where we talked with Gloria Feldt, author, former head of Planned Parenthood, and now co-founder of Take the Lead.
Gloria, it's great to be here today in the middle of Times Square.
It's quite fun. The fire engines are coming and going, and I think it just means we're all on fire for women's leadership parity.
Absolutely. I thought you did a terrific job speaking in the middle of this and maintaining your grace.
Thank you very much.
Tell us a little bit about Take the Lead and your co-founder and president. How did that come about?
My whole professional life has been about enabling women to have a fair and equal shot at life, and to have women's equality. I mean, I started out in the civil rights movement. I had an epiphany that if there were civil rights, well, then women must have them too, and that started me down the road. And then, 30 years in working for women's reproductive self-determination, because that's the core. If you can't determine your own fertility, you really can't make any other meaningful choices in your life. But that's just the beginning, and for me it's always been about the larger platform of women's equality. And so I wrote a book called No Excuses, 9 Ways Women Can Change How we think about power, after I realized that it was no longer that doors were closed to women, it was that women were not walking through the doors at the rates necessary to bring us to any kind of parity in leadership roles in my lifetime. And so I was shocked to realize that this was the case. And so I decided to take it a step further. And I became very interested in women's relationship with power, which is quite ambivalent. And so I started teaching. I teach a college course called Women, Power, and Leadership. And I began really delving and researching, and then people started asking me to do workshops and keynotes, and so I did that. And then I started talking with a colleague. The two of us started talking about it, and we realized that there was a great gap. Although there are thousands of women's leadership programs that serve hundreds of thousands of women every year, they're mostly bits and pieces, and they don't tend to do the comprehensiveness that we find that really is needed to take women to the next level. Because the problems have been researched ad infinitum. We know what the problems are. Yes. Women say they don't have enough mentors, they don't have enough role models, they don't have enough knowledge. They actually have all of those things. But what they need is to understand their own power so that they will be able to use all of those attributes and assets that they have much more effectively. And to know that you have them. So we decided that somebody needed to do it, so we just decided to do it. I mean, as simple as that. We considered making it a for-profit business, and we realized that we wanted to make sure that this was not something that was just available to women who were already elite and already were able to access such programs, and that we needed to do not only the learning programs, but also have mentoring programs, ways that women can connect with each other, that we needed to do role model presentations so women could see other women who have achieved. And so we'll be doing programs where we interview women, and then we'll do it on video like we're doing here today. We'll have them on our website, which is taketheleadwomen.com. I have to say that because Take the Lead is owned by a dog company. So I have to tell everybody, our URL is taketheleadwomen.com. And then the fourth piece of it is thought leadership. And that is about changing our own thinking from, oh, how terrible it is, we have all these problems, how downtrodden we are, to, isn't it great, we live at a moment where we actually can achieve leadership parity. And this is how we do it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So you're providing practical action steps.
Absolutely, absolutely.
That's so key, because as you say, so often we'll see sort of talk fests that people talk, but now what do I do with this information?
Right.
How do we make it real?
Yeah, it's all about putting the legs on things and making it walk out the door and actually achieve what you want.
With that in mind, maybe could you take one of the points from your book and think about it? So how can women who may be watching this, maybe they're thinking of stepping up to be in their PTA or in a local group or something, take on another assignment at work, what can they do? Give us maybe one practical step that they can do to really take power in their lives.
But one that I particularly like to talk to women about is what I call, is about creating a movement, how you create a movement. And I call it sister courage, having sister courage. And it has 3 parts. Be a sister. Reach out to another woman to offer your help. And ask for help when you need it. Sometimes that's the harder thing to do. We isolate ourselves. We feel like we have to solve the problem. We're the only ones with the problem. We are never the only ones with the problem. We need to reach out to other women, offer the help, and ask for the help. Secondly, have the courage to talk about the issues. And then if we do the 3rd piece, put sister and courage together with a plan of action and a strategy, and we can change anything. So sister courage, create the movement, be a sister, have the courage to raise the issues, and then put it together with a plan, and we can change the world and live in a world that we feel comfortable in.
Gloria, that was so key. Maybe you can also think about a particular thought for young women who are just starting out. How do we encourage them to come into their power?
Right. You know, when opportunities presented themselves, I just said yes. But I would add to that for young women to be more intentional about it than I was. To be more intentional about it and to think about where, if you're 10 years out from now and you're looking back at yourself, what is it you want your life to have meant? Not so much what do you want to have done, but what do you want your life to have meant? And that might sort of help temper that just say yes part. And to understand that you actually can unchoose. If you have decided on a path, you're going to live long enough that you can unchoose it if it didn't work out for you and choose a different direction. Don't be afraid to try anything, knowing that you can alter your path if you need to.
That's really wonderful. So again, absolutely key. I think it's wonderful. Just say yes, all of us. And number 2 is make a decision, but make a decision that is intentional for what matters to you, and to remember that you can always make another decision along the way.
Right.
That's really
all
key.
True. All
Absolutely.
true. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lisa.
Inspiring words.
Thank you. Great to be here with you.
All the money tonight.
See you next time, right here on Fem-Nominal Women.